So this happened today, guys, and it's not so great news. As you can tell from the very strong feelings about Nintendo in the background, Nintendo decided to screw over everyone yet again. Palworld. Palworld has been a thorn in Nintendo's side because it's actually a good game, as opposed to pretty much any of the most recent Pokemons. Their derivative, their lack of effort, they release in a half-finished state. The list really does go on and on and on for Pokemon. What does Nintendo do? We covered this in the past. I have several videos. This was all the discussion. By the way, I'll put it in chat, and I'll put it in the description below if you wanted to find out what happened to Palworld most recently with the Nintendo literally trying to sue Palworld. This was a horrendous situation where they did a retroactive after the fact patent. So Palworld, develops their game, all of that, and then Nintendo is like, you know what? We don't like how much money you're making. We don't like the fact that you're actually successful making something new in the Monster Collection gaming space. So are we going to make a better game? No. We're not going to make a better game. Fuck you. Eat your slop, everyone who likes Pokemon. That's what they said. They're literal words, by the way. They're literal words. And they said, instead, we're going to sue Palworld to get a piece of that pie. So not only do you get the bowl of slop, which is Pokemon these days, you also get screwed over from enjoying truly every single mechanic and the artistic vision of developers of the best competitor to to Pokemon that's come out in recent years, called Palworld. So that's what they did. They screwed it over twice over, and now this is yet another screw over. So let's read the post. This is by the developer of Palworld. This is from the Palworld Discord directly. We're going to start with this, and then we're going to talk about it. We'd like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the continued support of our fans over the past few months, because they've been going through it, man. Nintendo's been attacking them. By the way, the Japanese courts found Palworld liable for money through the retroactive patent, which is what I expected to happen, which is very, very sad. Their court system is very, very pro-Nintendo. And it really, really does suck. So they have to pay Nintendo now millions of dollars for making a good game. And they'd had to take out the ball shake mechanic. So what Nintendo did was they said, hey, you copied the way your ball shakes like 3 times before it catches the Pokemon. Or the Pals, what amounts to the Pokemon. And you can't have that anymore. And so it's kind of like Nintendo putting their dick on the table and saying our dick is 8 inches long. Fuck you. That's kind of what they did to Palworld. This is like a kind of like a machismo thing, where sometimes the bully will make sure to do a thing to make sure he's the bully. He's the big boy on the block. It was such a fucking dirty ass move by Nintendo, man. Dirty ass move. Because, they wrote that patent knowing Palworld was already a success, retroactively put it in, and they were able to get away with it in the courts. So, a lot of times, the court system is completely fucked. Small dick move? Yeah, smallest dick move. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was like a real disgusting move. Anyways, that's what previously happened. But now, we have another one. We apologize for not being able to share as much information as we would like, but we trust our fans to understand how difficult it is to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. And by the way, I wasn't able to make a video about this because that was when my dad was I had to take care of my dad real fast post-surgery and everything like that. That was when it was most drastic. But Nintendo making other retro active patents against Palworld. So when they saw in 2025, so this, just a couple months ago, they saw that they were actually making inroads with their very shit move, making a retroactive patent. So what they've done, by the way, is make more retroactive patents. It's when a dick move like this works, if you don't stand on it, and if you don't stand on business, and if you don't boycott Nintendo, if you don't tell Nintendo to suck your fucking dick as consumers, stop buying their slop games, stop pre-ordering the fucking dog shit overpriced Nintendo Switch 2. If you don't do moves like this, as like gamers, they decide that it is worth it to do worse and worse and worse. And that is exactly what happened. The first patent lawsuit was working pretty well for them. So they decided to do more retroactive patents. And that's kind of what's going on here. So we trust our fans to understand how difficult it is to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruptions to the development and distribution of Palworld. This is what's going on. On November 30th, 2024, we released a new patch. This patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing pal spheres. This was the first lawsuit. This was lawsuit 1. And instead, changed it to the static summon next to the player. Several other game mechanics were also changed with this patch. As many have speculated, again, I was taking care of my dad, so I couldn't really talk about this, but this was very much real. These changes were indeed a result of the ongoing litigation. Everyone here at Pocketpair was disappointed that this adjustment had to be made, and we fully understand that many players feel that same frustration. However, as the alternative would have been to a greater disorientation of the gameplay experience for players, it was determined that this change was necessary. So what does this mean? This is Pocketpair basically bearing it all, saying that because if you look over here, they say very direct and really pointing towards exactly why they did this. The development and distribution of Palworld. So a lot of people were wondering, why is Palworld still available to buy on Steam? We're very thankful it was. I don't know why I looked up Steam. They're wondering, why can we still buy Palworld? Why? The reason is that even in the ongoing lawsuit, basically Pocketpair, because it's a very contentious lawsuit, they made compromises to Nintendo so they could still have the ability to sell their game while the lawsuit is ongoing. And whatever patents Nintendo has filed against them as patent infringement, they have to basically take that mechanic out of the game. And if they do that, they can state, hey, whatever patents that are being fought right now, we at least patch it out of the game until all of this is straightened out. So, Nintendo doesn't really have a leg to stand on to stop our current distribution. Because right now, Palworld is Pocketpair's only way of surviving. Like, this is the game, this is their big game. And, they need to sell that game in order to make money. They can't rely on Kickstarter money or anything like that. Like, I mean, this is what they, yeah, exactly. That's what they had to do. And so this is why in patch 0.3.11, they had to remove like a whole bunch of shit from the game, including like how you summon your pals and everything like that. That's what exactly happened. Now, fast forward. This is today. Furthermore, we've got to inform our players with the implementation of patch 0.5.5, we must make yet another compromise. From this patch forward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than with pals. So you could actually fly your pals like a glider. It was really fucking cool. Some of them were like a jet. Like it was like you could shoot things with the pals. It was really, really dope. A really fantastic mechanic in the game. And you're begging Nintendo to do something cool like this for years. and years and years. And Nintendo never would, because they suck as a fucking dog shit company. And so instead, now you have to use just a glider, because this is another patent that Nintendo has filed. They're not saying this, I'm saying this, because I know what these companies do, and I know what these companies, Pocketpair has to do to survive in this situation. For anyone wondering, if you're like, man, Cap, how do you know so much about this? I've worked with patents. I work in business, and in that business, I've been in business for about 10 years. Various different types of businesses, engineering, consulting, construction management, this, that, whatever. Sometimes we've come across patent lawsuits. Sometimes we've had to consult companies going through very similar situations. Obviously not with video games, but, patent law is patent law. So this is what a company in this situation that Pocketpair is going through has to do in order to survive. So that's how I know. So if you're wondering, if you like that kind of discussion, that kind of like in-depth background, feel free to give this video a like, a comment, share it with your friends, give this channel a sub. I always keep it real. I always discuss. I always am open, and I'll always, call a spade a spade. If Nintendo was right here and Pocketpair was wrong, I would call it out. If Pocketpair is right, Nintendo's dog shit, I'm being very clear. I think Nintendo is completely in the wrong here, especially because it's retroactive. It kind of doesn't get any more obvious than that to me. Thank you, Duality. You're kind. You're so kind, my friend. I appreciate you. But yeah, so going back to it, Pals and the team will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide. So one of the cool things that separated Palworld out and was a really cool, fun mechanic, gave immersion in the world, was something that we've been clamoring for from Nintendo for freaking how long. All of that is now changed because Nintendo has the smallest dick on the block, and it's so freaking sad to see. But anyways, we understand this is disappointing for many, just as it is for us. I don't blame Pocketpair. This is the only move they had. It was either this or take the game off Steam and other markets. They had no choice. They really had no choice. We hope our fans understand that these changes were necessary in order to prevent further disruptions to the development of Palworld. We also want to extend our apologies to our fans for the discomfort and concern this ongoing litigation has caused. We remain committed to Palworld and delivering exciting new content. And thank you again, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's basically the entire story. But yeah, it's actually crazy because if you go into the comments of this, you'll see so many dick suckers for Nintendo being like, wow, it's their patent. Yeah, a retroactive patent. Jesus fucking Christ. Man, I swear to God, media literacy and literacy in general is just falling off the face of the planet, man. It's so fucking stupid, dude. It's so fucking stupid. Let's see, is this I think it's Windows Central. So maybe, let's see if Windows Central says anything specific extra. I don't know if they will or not, but we'll see. Okay, so this is just looking over the exact thing. Yep, they're talking about the past, just like I did. Animation was a result of legal battle. Yes, it is. Okay, that's it. So, Windows Central didn't say anything more useful. But yeah, so, this is a crazy situation. And, I like this because it's a very silly, discussion over here. Nintendo recycling the Pokemon formula for decades. Palworld gives an actual competition, despite having 10 devs at the start of the development of Palworld. Like, dude, Palworld was made by a team as small as 10 people. This is like an Expedition 33 level W. Expedition 33 is the, most recent one. But, like, dude, indie games have been killing it on the regular just like this. And this was a very prime example. Nintendo gets threatened, jealous, and starts a lawsuit. Palworld removes the Pal Sphere summoning due to Nintendo lawsuit. Nintendo announces Switch 2 with $80 to $90 games and upgrades that need to be paid. Palworld removes gliding with pals due to Nintendo lawsuit. No wonder your CEO can afford to cut their salary in half. You never had healthy competition, and when one emerges, you cower behind lawsuits on instinct. So fucking based. Even when your community makes something out of your beloved games out of pure passion, you shut them down. Dude, by the way, for anyone wondering, why do we dislike when Nintendo does these things? because they hate us. Like, you know, Nintendo defenders would be like, they don't hate us. Dude, they will shut down fan modes. They will shut down mods for single player games. They will shut down, freaking Smash tournaments if the Smash tournament is not run exactly how they want. It's crazy. And I'm talking about like a college Smash tournament. Dude, it is absolutely insane how litigious the Nintendo lawyers are, man. They're earning their money because, like, dude, they try to make lawsuits out of fucking everything. It's not like they're sitting on their laurels, those lawyers. But I will say that Nintendo's the one driving those lawsuits. And they're the ones going after the gamer every single time. And I think players are getting tired of it. Players have been getting tired of it over the Switch 2. They've been getting tired of it over these insane fucking prices. $80 to $90. Dude, you have to get for Breath of the Wild 3. Not 3. Jeez, I don't know why I said 3. Breath of the Wild is a fucking, what is it, like 5-year-old game? 6-year-old game? How old is it, guys? Is it 5 or 6 years old? It's an older game. Right now, in order to upgrade it for the Nintendo Switch 2, in order to buy it with the upgrade, how much is it, guys? Guess how much it is. $80 to $90, depending on if it's digital or physical. Is it an 8-year-old game? There's no way. Hold on, let me look this up. It's Breath of the... Oh my god, dude. I didn't even realize it was that old. Jesus Christ. 8-year-old game, guys. 8-year-old game. You're right. It was 8 years old. I was wrong. An 8-year-old game. Oh my god. But yeah. Breath of the Wild 2 for the Nintendo Switch 2. Sorry, Breath of the Wild 1 for the Nintendo Switch 2. Fuck you, Forbes. Suck my dick. Nintendo has confirmed. Let's open Tweaktown. There you go. That's better than Forbes. So Nintendo has confirmed $90 price tag. $90 fucking dollars for an 8-year-old game on the Switch 2 with like pretty much nothing added to it. You just have it at the higher frame rate. Okay, so it's like remastered for the frame rate, but that's it. $90 fucking dollars. And meanwhile, we have the Oblivion remaster for $50 fucking dollars, and it is perfect. Do you know why? Do you know why the Oblivion remaster is good? It's better in every single way. They added things, they changed things, they kind of made it almost like a bit of a remake. And it's only $50, below MSRP. That is why you can look at a 20-year-old game, which still has fantastic gameplay, by the way, even better than the original, with stamina system and so on. I've waxed poetic about how good the Oblivion remaster is. But you look at a game like this, and you're like, man, why is the game so popular? Because it respects your time and money as players. While Nintendo is basically putting their dick on the table and saying, hey, you're either going to suck it or you're not going to be able to play our game. Fuck you. Eat the slop. And that is exactly what people are doing. Exactly what people are doing. And you're right, Bowser. You're absolutely right, buddy. But Cap, imagine Rainbow Road at slightly better color correction, maybe +2 frame rate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and truly, that is worth $90. Yeah, you're right, Duality. Yeah, man. Oh my god, dude, it is so stupid. And to see these filthy fucking dick suckers in the comments, literally filthy fucking dick sucker. There you go. That's what it is. I'm actually surprised. Twitter usually is like, hey, are you sure you want to say this? And I'm like, you're right. I should call him a filthy, disgusting fucking dick sucker. You're right. I should double down. You're right. You know what, Twitter? Usually that's what Twitter does. But yeah. Dude, I hate people like this, man. I hate people like this. If you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a Nintendo fan and you are, okay with it, and you play your games and stuff, I don't blame you. Okay, look, you're enabling them, and you should know that. But I'm not. My anger is not at you. My anger is at Nintendo for doing this shit. And my anger is at the real dick suckers who's like, yeah, Nintendo, yas, queen, slay. It's like all that bullshit. Those are the real problem people. Like those, dude, they can suck my fucking dick. But if you're like a normal Nintendo fan, my anger's not directed at you. Frankly, most people who are Nintendo fans have no idea the dirty shit that Nintendo is doing. They have no idea. And I never blame ignorance. I only blame when you are purposefully obtuse. I was a Nintendo fan until they ruined themselves. Exactly. I was too. Everyone was a Nintendo fan until they ruined themselves. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna say pirate Nintendo games, but I will post this picture very brightly in neon colors. It's always a striking degree to see the people that are rising up against Nintendo. And I think it's a very, very important thing to highlight as well. And so that's why I have it right here, and I'll be, making it very, very clear my feelings on the subject. But yeah, you'll pay nothing and be happy. Yeah, exactly. This used to be you'll own nothing and be happy, but yeah, exactly. This is a good meme. But that's pretty much like the entire discussion. This is the exact same thing. I really, really hate how this is because I hate Grums. I think he's an absolute idiot like 99% of the time. But even a broken clock is correct twice a day. And he's right on this one thing. What they're trying to do, what Nintendo's trying to attack, is a patent for flying mounts, which means they could attack flying mounts for every game. Why are they not attacking World of Warcraft? World of Warcraft is flying mounts. You know what? Nintendo is looking at that fact, and they're like, you know what? If this lawsuit works, we can attack other games. That's what they're looking at it like. And this is the reason that patents are so rare in video games. Because you can't patent a general idea like this. If you do, you stifle competition. We've seen this exact thing with the rare patents that exist in video games. Namely, the Nemesis system that made Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, the Lord of the Rings games, all the way back on the 360 and was it on 360 and Xbox One or what? I bought it on PC. I don't remember exactly what the console generation was, but in those games, and the Nemesis system was patented. The Nemesis system was the really cool system where when you attack an orc, and or like a group of named orcs or whatever, and one of them survives or whatever, it becomes like your big nemesis. It levels up. It has like this history with you. It has stats and everything like that. A really, really cool system. You can imagine that system in a game like, like a Marvel game, where it's like, the bad guy levels up with you kind of thing. You could imagine that system in so many different games. You could imagine Nemesis system in pretty much any action-adventure game with interesting enemies. Assassin's Creed, yeah. Assassin's Creed. Imagine Assassin's Creed, any of them. Very, very good call, Raven. With the Nemesis system. It would have elevated the game. Absolutely, it would have been really cool. But guess what? Because there's a dog shit patent on it, even though the company's not used that patent for anything, literally any release game. They canceled the one game that it was going to be used in, the Wonder Woman game. That's been long since canceled, by the way. Last year, I think was when it was canceled. I think like $100 million was put in that development. It was like just bupkis. WB Games hates money, or something like that. It's so weird. But anyways, beyond WB Games, the patent system for that entire Nemesis system has locked the Nemesis system from being used for any other game property of any way, shape, or form. For, what is it, like 10 years, 20 years? I don't know. I'll have to look it up for the actual patent. But it can be a various amount of time. And that means we will never see that system for any game. It's a really good system. And we can't even see similar. Because if it's even remotely similar, the WB Games, which is also a very litigious company, by the way, they will 100% attack whoever tries to make a game with that. So when you have a patent for a system like that, it tells a signal to every other game company out there. Don't make any games remotely similar to this, because otherwise you'll face a lawsuit. Even if you're valid, you'll still probably have to fight it in court. And no game company, no game developer, no indie dev or large dev, but especially indie devs, wants to make a cool game that even comes close to a lot of these properties for that reason. Even if they're not, copying or anything like that, like Palworld. Palworld was not really copying. They did so many. Palworld is more similar to like, GTA than it is fucking Pokemon, frankly. It was so clear for that Nintendo could not even, attack Palworld for over a year and a half because they couldn't figure out how to do it. They were trying. It doesn't mean that they weren't trying. They were trying the entire time, but they couldn't figure it out because they had to really come up with something really extra stinky in order to stick the shit to the wall, and that's how they did it. Patents the last 7 years, but they can be extended by paying before the patent expires. I think for the Nemesis system, it's like 10 or 20. It was some even number the last I checked, but it was a couple of years back. Because I think I was making a discussion with you guys about Assassin's Creed all the way back when, or something similar. And I made a discussion about the Nemesis system way back then. And that was when I last checked it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. My memory with specific things is very bad with that. But I'll have to check it. I don't think it was 7 years, but I think it was much longer than that. But the capture ball is exactly the same for no reason. Palworld should have changed that. Well, they did. And they didn't need to because Plasma, a lot of games are capture games. And a lot of the capture games use something very similar. Now, should it have had 3 shakes? Sure, maybe not. They could have had 2 shakes. They could have had 4 or 5. And completely avoided the issue. But they didn't know Nintendo was going to do this shit. Like, that's the thing. It's I think easier to look at hindsight, Plasma, and like, say, oh yeah, Palworld should have known. But like, dude, honestly, we didn't know that it was not going to be a situation like Bethesda. Because, Bethesda will look at, Sky Oblivion. Here's an example of a company doing it right. So, this is, by contrast, a very nice story. And I'll make a specific video about this because it's a big W. And I'll call out the L's where they are. I'll call out the W's where they are. So, you can compare and contrast Bethesda to a company like Nintendo. If Nintendo finds an active mod for a game that's very highly rated and stuff, they'll have their lawyers shut it down. When Bethesda finds the mod, this is a mod called, so for context, Sky Oblivion is a fan-made recreation of Oblivion in the Skyrim engine. Like, updates and everything, more like a remake rather than a remaster. And it's like a really, really interesting project. There's a lot of videos online. Look it up on YouTube. Give the Sky Oblivion team some serious love. They've worked their ass off for pretty much for free. It's insane the level of work that they put in over the past 10 years. And it's about to come out. It's about to come out in a few months. The Oblivion remaster, the official one, came out and kind of, inadvertently stole the thunder, right? And a lot of people are wondering what is going to happen to the Sky Oblivion team. And it's not like they did it on purpose. Like, Oblivion Remaster has been in the works for, like, years, by the way. Like, the rumors were around for, like, 6 years. Files were being found and, little details and blah, 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 for, like, the past, like, 3. Like, this was in the works for a very long time, the Oblivion Remaster. That's why it's so good. It's not a rush project. There's no way to rush that project. And, Insomniac, exactly, buddy. You're gonna like this. But, so how did Bethesda treat the Sky Oblivion mod? Did they say, hey, Sky Oblivion, we're releasing the remaster. You can no longer make your product. Fuck you. We are worried that you're going to steal our money. No. What they did was, they sent a letter to Sky Oblivion. Todd Howard. Todd Howard has had many L's. And I'll call them out. Starfield is like one gigantic L. Like, as a game, it's just a big L. And you know, I'm more fair to fair and positive towards Starfield than most people are. But it's still like, you know, it's a very contentious and, you know, has a many myriad of issues in a game. So many L's for you know, Todd Howard and Bethesda. But what did they do in this situation? They went to the Skyblivion team, gave them a letter. Very nice letter, apparently, according to the Skyblivion team, saying, hey, essentially the letter said, hey, we are not going to attack you at all. Skyblivion, we are excited to see Skyblivion come out whenever it does. And in the meantime, here are some cute little game keys for Oblivion Remastered for your entire team. Enjoy. This basically, they gave them carte blanche. Go ahead with your project. In the meantime, enjoy Oblivion Remastered. You know, your W is our W. That is how Bethesda did it. Fucking based is shit. Honestly, one of the most base things you could possibly think of with a game company in this type of situation. Nintendo would have taken a gun and shot the mod team for Skyblivion. They would have like hired Black Ops officers to, like, you know, raid Skyblivion's offices and like shoot them in the dark or something like that. That's what Nintendo would have done. Yeah, is it the team that did the Brim mod? I don't know what the team is. Like, I don't know what their previous works are. But basically, the leader for Skyblivion about 10 years ago, he decided to go around, like, getting, like, the best modders. And anyone interested and everything like that. And basically slowly recreated the entire game of Oblivion in Skyrim's engine. And expanded it, by the way. Like, bigger than Oblivion. In every single way. So that's basically how Oblivion Remaster got its start like 10 years ago. So it's probably a lot of modders you know, Insomniac. If you know a lot of the modders from, like, you know, the Bruma mod, the Big Island mod from Skyrim, that was a really popular one. Like all of those. Like, dude, they went crazy, man. They were getting all the big modders, man. It's so cool. Like, maybe we'll watch a video on Oblivion Remaster, Skyblivion soon, because I think they gave an updated video about, like, how close they are to finishing. I never watched it, but we should do that, because, like, it's a nice news. It's nice news. But yeah, their story is wonderful, and we'll watch it together. I promise you we'll watch it together in a couple of days. But yeah, anyways, going back to it, that is pretty much all the news, and you know, that is how things should be done in gaming. Gaming is an art form, okay? Gaming is a business, absolutely, but it's also an art form. And as an art form, you have to think of how consumers take your product, but you also have to think of how to move the art forward as well, in my opinion. And the best companies do that, which is why gaming has moved forward most of the time. Not all the time, obviously. We still have Sony litigation, we still have Nintendo litigation, we still have all those issues. But a lot of times, we do have some pretty decent things happen, like you know, this Bethesda situation. So, you gotta call it the good with the bad. And this is very much one of the worst situations possible. Nintendo can suck my right fucking nut. I would like to hear what your thoughts are, guys, by the way. Are you a Nintendo fan? Do you think Palworld is in the wrong? Are you a Palworld fan? And you want to see both games succeed and you think this is an unfair situation? That's where I'm at. I'm not like, fuck Nintendo forever. No, I want them to do better. I'm making this video because I think gaming can be done better. It doesn't have to be done in such a dirty, litigious fucking, like, way. We don't have to always make the line go up more. You know, we gotta give money to our shareholders, man. Oh, man, our profits for our quarter is gonna go down by like 0.05%, even though we're still making over $100 billion a fucking year. You know, things like that. That is how these fucking big-ass game companies think, like Nintendo, like Sony, like Ubisoft. Aren't you tired of EA putting gambling in games? Like, dude, this is exactly what fucking happens. Holy shit. The stock market has ruined so many things. And if the stock market wasn't a factor for Nintendo, they would never do this. A little bit of a jump, but, you know, I think that's very, very patently true. Just want to give my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about this patent. What do you guys think about the glide and change? And are you guys still playing Palworld? I haven't played Palworld in a few months, but I did play Palworld, you know, right after my dad had surgery, and it was a very chill game. I needed like something like a chill out game where I'm not thinking or anything like that, and I'm just like, you know, catching some little dudes and, you know, shooting some bad guys with an AR-15, because you can do that in Palworld, and, you know, having a machine gun Pokemon, you know, being goofy and, as hell and everything like that. And I think it was very much like a perfect game for that situation. Palworld is a great game. I really hope it does not get screwed over more by Nintendo, but I don't see how it doesn't. Nintendo smells blood in the water. But yeah, I think it's very important, if you're watching this video, to raise voices up, like mine, like anyone else covering the situation, because I've not seen many people covering the situation. So I would love to see more people covering this, because if Nintendo succeeds in this, this will move gaming backwards in every single way. Other companies are watching this entire situation going on with Palworld, going on with these retroactive patents, and they're like, oh, ooh. Sony is looking at this. You know, maybe even Atlas, who made Persona, is looking at this, because, you know, Expedition 33 has some similar mechanics. Who's to say Expedition 33, who's like one of the best games made this year, it's like one of the highest rated games of all time, who's to say that won't be attacked by Atlas? Because, you know, their game has some similar-ish mechanics, because it's a turn-based JRPG with some similar battle mechanics to Persona. Who's to say? What would stop them? If this lawsuit succeeds, nothing would stop them. And the list goes on, by the way. Like, State of Decay has a mini-map that's similar to GTA. Has some gameplay feel that's similar to GTA, but it iterates because it's more of a city builder, it's more of a survival game, it's more of a, I mean, it's completely in the zombie apocalypse, right? That is State of Decay. But, like, you know, there's some, like, you know, shared traits with a game like GTA. The mini-map looks similar, the driving mechanics are similar, and stuff like that. And it makes the game better because of that reason. So it's an iteration. However, who's to say that Rockstar won't look at State of Decay and be like, hey, ooh, I'm gonna take half your money. Fuck you. Dude, these game companies that are publicly traded, they are not fans of you or me. They're not fans of any other people except their shareholders. This is a time to stand up for what is right for the industry as a whole. I sincerely believe that. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Catch you guys in the next video. I always keep it real. Oh, man. Apparently everyone is sucking Cap's right nut now. I mean, look, I can only come up with so many insults at the same time. So that was just my insult of the day, right? But yeah, like, I mean, I really do worry about the state of gaming going forward, you know, and I get heated, bro. I get heated. Like, I really hate when game companies do this shit. I think it's so dirty. I think it just makes the gaming world worse. And we already have so many issues with the gaming world, with AAA game companies ruining, you know, game products. Games like Assassin's Creed Shadows being like, having pay to win in a single player game. Like, so many major fucking issues, dude. I hate seeing it.